fighters writing a couple of things about me and Bernard that was unfair about, you know, we both born fighters. Well, we both on top, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna try to sell a fight.
Winky said he don't have to sell a fight, he's not gonna sell a fight, but I am. I'm gonna kick his ass come this Saturday. I will beat him up because he takes a bruise. He takes a hell of a shot. So to all his family members and friends, see, this is the before-after picture. See him now? See him now? Now, after the fight's over with, still love him and still hug him. Bring him back to life so he can be y'all Winky again. So enjoy the way he looks now, because the clock in the sand bottle is dripping, 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 dripping to execution time.
Winky Wright, seemingly unfazed. He's been around the block. He's got 51 wins. Again, former junior middleweight champion of the world, and fought Jermaine Taylor, the middleweight champion of the world, to a draw. Bernard Hopkins, of course, has 20 title defenses. Joining me here, a fighter that both of these fighters in the main event look up to with great admiration and respect, the man who ruled the middleweight division with 2 iron fists in the 1980s, and we're glad to lure him back to Las Vegas for our coverage here this weekend. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Marvin, great to have you here.
It feels good to be here, Brian. It's been a long time. I guess, what, 99?
That's right. He came back. We were talking about that. You said you were here for De La Hoya Trinidad. You said that was a few years ago. I said, Marvin, that was about 7, 8 years ago. So it's great to have you back. 6 big fights that you had here in Las Vegas. Look, you were a veteran by the time you got the title, and of course you relished in that role and flourished in that role.
It's always a scary feeling when you come back here.
Is it for you? Okay. What is it like for these guys now? Again, Bernard's 42. Winky's 35. They've been in big fights before, but how much pressure do you feel the day before a fight?
Oh, you feel a lot of pressure, but you're one step closer right now to getting this thing on. So you'll feel good after the weigh-in today. They can go and eat and just concentrate on all the tools that they have to use for this fight.
They've agreed to a weight of 170 pounds. Both fighters are there ready to weigh in now. What do you look for here in the weigh-in, Marvin?
Well, they trying to out-psych each other. It's the last time to psych them out, you know, so...
Stare down means something?
Oh, yeah.
Even at this age?
Oh, yeah, it does. And, Bernard, he's been through this route before, so, I think that he's confident enough that he can do that. Hopefully to scare Winky, but I think Winky's been in there with too many tough guys, and he ain't moving. He ain't budging a bit.
We're going to talk about this fight and break it down. Again, it's really seen as an even fight. Let's go down right now. We're ready for the weigh-in. Again, light heavyweight championship of the world, 175, but they've agreed to the weight of 170 pounds, really in deference to Winky Wright, who extracted that from Bernard Hopkins to bring him down in weight just so slightly by those 5 pounds. Let's go down right now and get to the weigh-in. Here's Jake Gutierrez.
Capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, as we present Hopkins of Golden Boy Promotions in association with the Winky Promotions, the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's main event for the Ring Magazine Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. We are live on ESPN News, ladies and gentlemen. And now, fans, we are ready to begin the official weigh-in. So first, coming up to the scales, the 2-time champion fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida. His record, 51 victories with only 3 defeats. 25 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Winky Wright. 170 pounds, exactly, 170 for Winky Wright. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is, coming up to the scales, the former undisputed middleweight champion of the world from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 47 victories with 4 defeats, 32 big wins by knockout. Here is the current light heavyweight champion of the world, Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins. 170 pounds. Both fighters weighed in at 170 pounds, ladies and gentlemen.
Things going according to form. Both men are professionals. Both men have been through many wars, many battles. They're both involved in promotional activities now. They've taken control of their own careers and their own money. So, of course, they come in top condition, and they come in at precisely the weight they wanted to come in at. Now, Winky Wright looks like he's going to have a photo op. He takes his shirt back off. Bernard Hopkins jawing back at Winky Wright. Take a look at the tail of the tape as you see both men are at 170 pounds, and now both fighters are jawing at each other in a friendly way for Winky Wright, and A actually puts his hands on Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins goes back at Wright, and we have a bit of a fracas at the weigh-in. That looks completely natural and organic. Marvin, your thoughts?
I knew that was going to happen. I can see it in Bernard's actions.
You know, at the news...
He wants to try to sell this fight. He don't have to sell a fight. Ricky said don't have to sell it. But now somebody's really going to be mad comes tomorrow night.
Bernard Hopkins was clearly the more aggressive man down there at the time. At the news conference that they had here yesterday, Marvin, Brian Kenny with Marvelous Marvin Hagler up here as we watch all of this, they really didn't have a stare down. And I didn't think it would be volatile if they did have a stare down. Did you think so?
They did. But, you know, I knew that was going to happen. So I'm not surprised. But Bernard shouldn't have did that. It don't show. It's not professional. And I think he could have waited for tomorrow night before when you put your hands in somebody's face, that's war.
And you saw Bernard waving his hands and pointing at Winky Wright. Winky Wright eventually put his hand back up and then the hand on the face. You certainly, the day before a fight, don't want to clench a fist, and you don't want to jeopardize a multi-million-dollar promotion. In this day and age, it's an unfortunate part of the media culture that we're in, that a fight at the weigh-in gets a lot more attention than two guys standing there like sportsmen, Marvin.
It's a lot of nerves that's building up right now. That fire is ready, you know, to explode, and they can't wait for tomorrow. Now this is the easy part, because the weigh-in is over, and all they got to do now is get ready for each other tomorrow. And what a fight this is going to be tomorrow.
Hey, you looked eye to eye with Thomas Hearns, Ray Leonard, Vito Antuofermo. Anything like that ever happened to you?
No, because they knew better.
No one got their hands in Marvin Hagler's face, evidently. So just to recap this, theatrics or do you think reality?
No,
is that real?
I think that was real.
Away.
Hey, I'm here with Winky Wright. Winky, how's it going? That's a little excitement there at a weigh-in. I've never seen that happen with a fight involving you. Can you tell us what happened?
He getting scared. He getting scared. Now he want to just react. But that's cool. Tomorrow night he gonna pay for it.
What exactly was said, and who? It seemed like he touched you on the head. What was said in that little stuff?
He was mad. They was jawing back and forth, and then I said, "What you talking for? We got to fight. Stop talking. Nobody want to hear all that." They told me, "Yeah, you know I'm from the street. So what? Now I don't care where you from." And then he gonna push me, and I pushed him and his bodyguard.
Do you think that sort of activity from Bernard, something that is not normal that he does at weigh-ins, means that you're in his head a little bit?
Oh, I know. I'm in his head. I'm in his heart. He's thinking about me bad.
Winky, you're moving up. You're the smaller guy, so to speak. You both weighed 170 pounds. How do you feel at this heavier weight?
I feel good, but this is not my weight class. I'm a junior middleweight, so I won't be fighting this one fight just to prove to the fans I'm scared of nobody.
Now, all along, they've talked about this fight. Maybe it's going to be a boring fight, that they named the fight Coming to Fight in deference to that sort of thought by some of the people in the media and the public. Obviously, it looks like you guys are ready to fight. Do you think this is going to be a barn burner?
Well, you've seen it. You've seen it right here. We ready to fight. Before the fight, day before the fight, we ready to fight. So tomorrow night, better watch it. If you can't beat Mandalay Bay, get it pay-per-view because it's going to be a fight. I'm going to hurt him.
All right, I have one more question for you. You welcomed a new addition to your family this about a week and a half ago, a new baby son. Can you tell us how that's impacted your thought for the fight and how it's affected your preparation?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. My son Ryan was born about 2 weeks ago, and I'm just happy he's here. I'm just happy for life, man. I'm blessed. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm making money. I got a lot of fans and friends, so I'm just blessed.
All right, there you have it. Back to you, Brian.
Dan, thank you so much. Again, we had hoped to get Bernard Hopkins as well, but perhaps he has stormed off at this point. It is interesting that both guys are usually thoroughly professional, so it seems like that just kind of happened in and of itself as they were standing up there. But, again, I think a more cynical fan would think, all right, are they going to be that physical when they get in the ring and attack each other? Given that, look, Winky Wright has shut out Felix Trinidad, but he did it in kind of a systematic way with just working the jab and popping his head back. Do you think there will be a real clash in the middle of the ring at this point?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're both getting tired of looking at each other's ugly faces. So, there's only one way to get rid of them. That's to put them out.
We're watching it again. I know I remember that. You've said that about Thomas Hearns, where you guys, by the time you're done with the promotional tour, you're sick of each other. Now, here's Bernard Hopkins again, getting right up in his face. Winky, again, unfazed by all this, but once the hands go up, that sort of thing can happen. Yeah, we've both seen much worse at weigh-ins.
Well, we've seen that Mike Tyson does that all the time with him and Lennox
And
Lewis.
Lennox
remember?
Lewis, that was in New York City.
Yeah, not
And
professional at all.
again, Marvelous Marvin Hagler is here, back in Las Vegas.